to another episode of Lakeshow's finest, REDUX. I'm your host, Charles Ryan, KB24 status, or yours truly, the biggest Lakers fan in the world. And like I told you, I would not be doing coverage or podcasts for both games that were back-to-backs. Just one, and I'm glad I said that because I had a really strong feeling that LeBron wouldn't play in one of them. I'm surprised AD played back-to-back in both. That was a little bit shocking to me, considering his injury history, but, well, he didn't really help that much versus the Rockets anyways. But we're going to run through the stats of both games, probably less so for the Rockets game, and I'll give my thoughts on them both as well. Give my thoughts on the future, might talk about the rising Phoenix Suns, who somehow are 4-0 right now. Why didn't they play this way in the regular season? I don't understand. But, yeah. All right, so the Los Angeles Lakers, your purple and gold, were defeated by the Thunder 105-86. Lost by a sexy 19 points. And this was a tough game to watch. One of those games where they just couldn't string a run together. And when they would, the Thunder would just push back. The Lakers never led in this game. It was a wire-to-wire victory. The game was only tied once at 0-0. I don't know what to say about this game. I believe we were 3-0 or 2-0 against the Thunder this season. We didn't lose to them this season prior to this game. But really shocking turn of events here. There's a few players that I don't understand how they perform so well, like Luguentz Dort, a shooting guard for the Thunder, who's in the starting lineup. Never heard of him. I think he's an undrafted rookie. He somehow had 14 points, and it seemed like he was making the most difficult shots, and he got to the free throw line 6 times. And then it was kind of odd seeing Andre Robertson in the game and seeing him not start. He only played 11 minutes. I'm kind of a fan of Andre Robertson. He's kind of a poor man's Avery Bradley, I guess. But there's a couple things there. The Thunder's bench didn't really do anything for them. The Thunder's bench only had like only had 20 points. The Lakers bench, I think, kicked ass. Our bench had like 30, almost 40 points. So just weird game because there's all these other players who just came out of nowhere. Nader, Darius Baisley, never heard of him. Even when Steven Adams was temporarily out of the game and he got hurt, I think he hurt his leg or something. He was limping a little bit. Lakers really couldn't take advantage of that. Yeah, I mean, and nobody played super well for the Thunder. I mean, the only person that played well or shot over 50% was Chris Paul and Steven Adams. But Steven Adams doesn't count because all the shots are 2 feet from the basket. But can't believe we lost this one. Going to go over the basic stats right now. We were out-rebounded. The Oklahoma City Thunder, who did not have Steven Adams for like half the game, out-rebounded us 52-46. Both teams had 17 assists. That's kind of low for a game, kind of feels like. And, we only made 5 3-pointers. So I feel like LeBron would have had more assists, or we would have overall way more assists. Maybe we made 10 of those instead. We shot terribly from the three. Thunder had 9 steals. We had 7 steals. We had 3 blocks. They had 2 blocks. Only 11 turnovers for the Lakers. That's pretty good. Usually not that low for us. We usually turn it over, 15 to 20 times. Versus the Rockets, we had at least 20 turnovers. Versus the Rockets, we had 24 turnovers. So very different ball handling skills in this game. And then it comes to the most fun stat of the night. You all probably know what it is, but 35% from the field goal, from the court. 35%. Whenever you shoot 35% in a game, you better have some really, really good defense. And the Lakers did not have really, really good defense. Because if they did have really, really good defense, they wouldn't have let 105 points. 35% is not going to get the job done. They shot the ball 88 times, and they only made it 31 times. They shot 37 threes and only made 5. 5 threes in the National Basketball Association is not going to get it done. And you know what? Versus the Rockets, we only made 2 threes. 2 3-pointers in a 48 NBA basketball game is unacceptable. There are high school games, colleges games, of course, that teams that will never get to make 2 threes in a game. So I'm not sure what the hell happened in both of these games in terms of 3-point range. I would like to think that this is a fluke, but the last, 4 of the 5 games we've shot terribly. In the last 2, we've been shockingly awful for the 3-point line. So, yeah, this better change. There's no reason for this to continue like this. But 5 for 37. Equally disturbing. We were 65% from the free throw line. We don't usually shoot that poorly. We missed 10 free throws, 10. We were 19 for 29. The Thunder, and, Chris Paul, they got Chris Paul at the free throw line. They got Gallinari. Their only really guy that's not very good at free throws is Steven Adams. But still, the Thunder were 89% from the line and only missed 4 free throws. And the Thunder shot 43% from the field. They also only made 5 threes, but they didn't shoot 37 threes. We shot 37 threes. They only shot 24 threes. So that's a quick rundown of the basic stats. I want to talk about the rest for a second. In both games, the amount of whistles I've noticed is very, very different than the regular season. I am watching other games too, and some of them seem to have no whistles, or some of them have a lot of calls by refs in the first 3 quarters and the fourth quarter. They kind of let the game flow and play out and let the players get into rhythm and not get, interrupted by stupid ticky-tack calls. But, it seems with every single Laker game, for both teams, the Lakers are getting fouled too much, and the Lakers are fouling too much. I swear, Dwight Howard gets 7 offensive fouls every game. Let's see. Let's look at this. The Thunder committed 23 fouls, and we committed 24 fouls. That's a lot of fucking fouls. Anthony Davis and Markieff Morris had 5 fouls. Markieff Morris played 12 minutes and had 5 fouls. Are the refs targeting Markieff Morris? And what's up with that? What is up with that? Alright, so that's my quick little rundown on the Thunder game. I'll probably have a few more thoughts about it after I talk about the Rockets game, which won't be that much that long of conversation because the Rockets game was obviously a throwaway game. I do think some element of this game was the Lakers just trying to get a look at the Rockets and what they are, and the Rockets threw it right back at the Lakers and didn't play Russell Westbrook. So I thought that was kind of fun. Kind of smart move by D'Antoni to not let the Lakers see the Rockets in the bubble and how they play and all that. And, we set LeBron, and it's very likely that we see the Rockets in the second round. I don't see a universe where the Rockets lose in the first round pretty much to anybody. They're not playing the Clippers in the first round. So they play the Nuggets, the Mavericks, the Thunder. I mean, the Rockets. They're going to win the first round. So kind of strategic there, holding back your hands by both coaches. I do think it was very... there's this one lineup that Vogel had in this game because obviously LeBron wasn't playing. He was experimenting with more lineups and trying to see which players had more, were syncing together well with each other. And he had this one lineup. I think it was J.R. Smith, Talen Horton-Tucker, Jared Dudley, Markieff Morris, and I want to say Dwight Howard, but I could be wrong. But that was the lineup that, most of the players in the lineup, that brought the team back in the fourth quarter to within 5 points. The whole entire game, the Lakers were down in between 10 and 20 points. And, you really thought in the fourth quarter, James Harden's going to stay sitting. There's no way he'd come back. And he did come back. And that really screwed us. But in the fourth quarter, we made a very nice little run there. And got to within 5, and that was about with 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So you got to admire the Lakers' effort because they could have just gave up. What was interesting was Anthony Davis didn't even come back in that fourth quarter. I mean, it would have been nice. I understand Vogel's thinking of wanting to stick with the players that got the lead back. But you want to push that, right? You want to push the guy who's 7 million feet taller than everybody else in the Rockets. So, whatever. But it's a loss. We're 2-3 in the bubble. 3 losses. We only had 14 losses in the regular season. We're already at 3 here. If we go under 500 in this bubble, that would be kind of embarrassing. Regardless of LeBron and AD don't play in the next 3 games or do. That would be... Not a good few ramp-up games for us. That would be very unfortunate. But so let's go through these stats. This game was a little bit more competitive than the Thunder game. Still wasn't that fun to watch until the end when that little comeback happened. But, the Lakers lost to the Rockets 113 to 90-7. They lost by 16 points. We won the rebound battle by 14 rebounds. It is not often that a team will win the rebound battle and lose by such a large margin. This is especially true in the playoffs. If you out-rebound someone by almost 15 rebounds, the game better be close at the end. And that's not what happened. Because that's not who the Rockets are. They don't give a crap if you rebound the ball. You can rebound the ball, put it back in, they're going to score within 6 seconds. And that's what happened. We had 12 offensive rebounds, 12. 18 assists for the Lakers. Only 18 assists. The Rockets had 26 assists. Both teams had 11 steals. Rockets had 5 blocks. Lakers had 6 blocks. And once again, like I said before, we had 24 turnovers in this game. Cannot happen. Unacceptable. regardless if LeBron isn't playing. LeBron, like, averages the most turnovers, second most in the league after James Harden, okay? Still, it's ridiculous. The Rockets had 19 turnovers, but let's focus on the Lakers' turnovers there. Ridiculous. And then all of our favorite stats. Somehow the Lakers actually shot better from the field than the Rockets. Didn't feel like it. We shot 45%. The Rockets shot 42%. We shot 35 for 77. The Rockets shot 36 for 84. The Rockets shot the ball 7 more times than us, even though we had 12 offensive rebounds and more second chance opportunities. Interesting. And then, once again, which I mentioned, 2 for 19 from the three-point line. Worst three-point production of the season. Couldn't have been more excited when this happened. These next 3 games are very important. I expect the Lakers to score at least 10 three-pointers in the next 3 games for each game because they can't afford to go into the playoffs shooting 4% from the three-point line. 2 for 19 will not get the job done. The Rockets, on the other hand, they're the Houston Rockets. They made 21 threes. That's like NBA record type threes. Like the NBA record's probably like 23 or 24. I know the Lakers record's like 21. That's fucking nuts. They shot 57 threes, made 21 for 37%. And then once again from the free throw line, Lakers missed 11 free throws. 11. The Rockets missed only 3. And let's talk about the stats real fast. My boy Kuzma played really well this game. My favorite part of this game with Kuzma was his defensive effort. He had 2 blocks and 2 steals. The 2 blocks he had, one was on James Harden, I believe, and James Harden freaked out. But in previous podcasts, I've mentioned Kyle Kuzma, his defense, the way he plays defense, he like kind of bunny hops instead of slides. He was sliding like a little bit better last night or tonight, and paid off. So he had 21 points, 8 for 16 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3. He was one of 2 players to make a 3. And he missed 3 free throws somehow. I don't know how. 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 turnover, and those 2 steals and 2 blocks. Anthony Davis played 30 minutes and only had 17 points. He only shot the ball 8 times in 30 minutes. If you're the only star on the court, you gotta shoot the ball more than 8 times, right, guy? Right? He had 12 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, and this, listeners, I have never seen Anthony Davis do this. He had 7 turnovers. I can't remember him ever having that amount of turnovers on the Pelicans/Hornets or the Lakers. That's crazy. He had like a third of our turnovers. Wow. Okay. And then Danny Green played better. 10 points, 5 for 7. And he had a couple steals, which I expect from Danny Green to get a couple steals. And then the weirdest guy that started was Quinn Cook. I was expecting Quinn Cook to get 0 minutes. For some reason, he's not getting 0 minutes. For some reason, he's getting 30 minutes. If LeBron James is out, you don't replace him with Quinn Cook. It doesn't make a lot of sense there. Nothing else really stood out. Oh, yeah, Taylor Horton Tucker got 20 minutes tonight. He played pretty well. He had 10 points. Tonight, he had his first career points in an NBA game. That's a great milestone for him. I know he didn't play that many games, but kind of crazy happened, over a year after he got drafted. That's kind of funny. Apparently, Javale Mcgee played 22 minutes. I couldn't find him out on the court. I didn't know where he was. Didn't see him. Caruso didn't play that well. Nobody really played well. Dion... Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong stats for a second. JaVale did not play tonight. Sorry, did not play. Wrong stats, my bad. Dion Waiters was 2 for 10 from the field. 0 for 4 from 3. Dion usually makes a shot. JR shot 3 threes. I'm surprised he even shot the ball at all. But he did when he made this layup to get it to within 5 in the fourth. Yeah, so JR is a legend. All right, that's the podcast. I'm KB24 Status. I'm Charles Ryan. I'm the biggest Lakers fan in the world. I bleed purple and royal gold just for you guys. Once again, this podcast does not stop, will never stop, no matter the circumstances, even during a national pandemic. We play only 3 more games. Somehow, we played the most games of anybody so far, 5. Maybe the league just wants to give us less rest. Maybe we're the only team that has back-to-back games. Who knows? But I will do every single game now on, assuming there's no back-to-backs in the playoffs, because I would be shocked. I doubt it. Never has been. Probably never will be. But, yeah. So, thanks again for listening. Once again, this is Lakeshow's finest Redux. Take care, stay safe, and go Lakers.